right, good morning, everybody. I'll keep this video short because I have an appointment in 5 minutes on the phone, which just takes a second. I should have made the video after this, but this will keep it short. I got a little bit of attention today. I hope I don't have an iron horror from that. A few news sources mentioned my friend Rabbi Elsher Meza gave out about 200 letters for people who were seeking religious exemptions from vaccination, and I was mentioned as one of the people who gave him smicha. Not the only one. He got smicha from a few places, and the smicha, it's a Ravomanic smicha, very basic smicha, but he is legally allowed to use the title rabbi. There's nothing wrong with that, and he happens to like he says, he's a rabbi when he's saying halacha. So this is not really a halachic issue, and he admits that. But he wants to help people in the way they can. And I'll tell you, the truth is that Rav Pinchas Koritzer said that if somebody needs a letter for some reason, for work, for whatever it is, it's a mitzvah to give it to them. Now, I don't mean it's one of the Taryag mitzvahs. I don't mean it's one of the 613 commandments. But it's a positive thing to do, to give someone a letter to help them, whether it's a smicha, whether it's a letter of that they can for Sabbath observance, and other various things that they might need for work. Now, as far as this question about a religious exemption from a vaccine. Now, me personally, I took both doses of the vaccine. I guess I'm what they call fully vaccinated, whatever that means. I took it because I needed it for work. Not needed it, but it was strongly encouraged at work. We are given are given now an option of weekly testing. But to show I'm kind of part of the team, I took the vaccine, as did my wife, for her work. Again, maybe by her they were maybe a little bit more strict about it. But in both of our places, we were offered it at work, and we took it pretty early on. I got my first dose in February, second dose in March. I think my wife got her first dose in January and second in February, or maybe even earlier. I got the Moderna vaccine. I'm not sure which one my wife got. And as Usher mentions in his video, in interviews that he did, he himself also is vaccinated. Whether he got one dose, two doses, it's none of my business. It's not for me to discuss. Not really for me to discuss my wife either. That's a different story. But anyway, and for a long time with a lot of these very well-known vaccines, I personally was against giving religious exemptions for vaccines. Now, I know a lot of Rabbanim very much support vaccines and support the, government vaccine mandates, but they feel that members of our community should be vaccinated. The truth is, when it comes to all of these things, first of all, the first thing is you talk to your doctor. And if you have a halachic concern, you speak to your Rav. Just because a lot of choshev, respected rabbis, rabbanim in the 5 towns who I respect, made a video saying how important it is to get vaccinated, that applies to the members of their congregations, not even to all the people in the 5 towns. Meaning, I know several very distinguished rabbanim, rabbis in the 5 towns who are not in that video. Doesn't mean they're anti-vax. They might be vaccinated themselves, and they might encourage others. But just because you make a video doesn't mean that, just like my video, I'm just explaining why I did. When Usher called me during Chol Hamoed Sukkos, couldn't he put my name on? I said, you can put my name on. I said, and then I said, I know other Rabbanim who would also put their name. And he called them, and they agreed also to put their name on. One, I know is a real anti-vaxxer. And a lot of it is because his daughter is I have to do the hand signals because the blinker's not really working. His daughter is a PA, and she told him about how many people admitted to the hospital because of this vaccine, and they try to cover it up. I myself, I suffered from gout from it. My wife had some complications from it. And the truth is, we're young people. We don't have comorbidities. If we would have caught it, it probably wouldn't have been a big deal. The main reason I took the vaccine is I don't want to spread to other people. I kind of wanted to get COVID early on, get it over with already, and every time I got tested, it was always negative. So I don't know if I got it. I couldn't find a place to get the antibody tests. As far as a religious issue, what would be a religious issue? I know Rabbi Meza lists some verses from Mishlei and other places about this, and it's I have a hard time with those, using those for the reason he did it is because he wanted to give both to Jews and Christians, and so he has verses from Genesis and from Proverbs and so forth, from Rashis, Mishlei, so forth, whatever. He didn't ask me before he wrote this letter. He asked if I could put my name on it, and I said yes. But I told him that one of the Gedolei Ador, I guess we consider really everybody in the county to be neighbors, so even someone who lives 25 minutes away is a neighbor, is the Fallsburg Rosh Yeshiva, Rebbe Liber. And Rebbe Liber is very vocally anti-vax. So, and certainly for people who don't have children, who want to have children, or even they have children already and they want to have more children, I'm probably not in that category anymore. That's part of the reason why I was comfortable taking the vaccine, because my wife is, even though I said we're young, we're talking about for COVID, but we're probably already around the age when I don't know if what we're planning in the future, and it's really up to the Boresh Shloim, all these things. But in any event, I would not let my kids get this vaccine until we know a lot more about it, as opposed to other vaccines that we know about. My wife was always very pro-vaccine for all kinds of things, because her father was a pathologist, and he was a scientist who discovered a lot of augurs, a lot of things that are used in pathology. But with all that being said, this vaccine, although it's standing on the shoulder of giants, and a big reason why I took it is also because President Trump made it possible, and President Trump took it, and Vice President Pence, who I still respect, even though we're not so happy with how things went on, but that's really more Nancy Pelosi's fault and not really Mike Pence's fault, because she let what happened happen in order to vilify anybody who's questioning the very questionable things that went on, which if you're really that sure of it, you should want as much you'd want to prove your case. You wouldn't want to vilify people who are questioning it, but that's a different story for a different time. But there's something deeper here. So Rebbe Ber Wachsvogel, he did say anybody who wants to fill the mitzvah for Ravu should not take the vaccine. So that's already a religious issue, a halachic issue, that his beliefs about what the effects of the vaccine are and so forth. So, with that being said, I wonder, am I going to make it with this engine reduced thing the whole way? Maybe I'll have to stop somewhere. So in any event, the point that I'm bringing out here is that that main point is that I believe in religious freedom, and so therefore if someone has their own sincerely held religious belief that this is what this means, even if it's not the guidance that necessarily I would give halachically speaking, I certainly believe an older person has more to gain by being vaccinated than by not being vaccinated. But again, one of my rebbeim who signed this letter is a Zaken Muflug, and he refuses to take the vaccine. He's much more afraid of the vaccine than he is of the virus. These are part of the issues here, but then we can take a little further. This question of achdus, this question of unity. Someone I know, the main source that people bring for achdus is Loisis Goidedu, which is talking about in scripture, meaning it's a homiletic interpretation of that verse, because the verse is talking about something totally different. And yet even the Rambam, who tends to be very rationalist and he, that's where he derives this from, but the Rambam himself understands Loisis Goidedu to be on a local level, not on a national level. This idea of achdus, of Klal Yisrael, in many ways is very dangerous, because and the truth is, Yaakov Avinu, it's the same thing with Zionism. Meaning, some people were saying to me, even though Zionism is so bad, we shouldn't publicize our stance against Zionism because we're thereby justifying the terrorists. Chas v'shalom. No, we're trying to stop the terrorists. We're trying to tell the terrorists, don't be terrorists. That's the idea. So the point that I'm bringing in this is that there's a lot of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories that there's some Jewish cabal, and that and so therefore unity is seen to be a negative thing among Jews. And the truth is, there is no Jewish unity, and so this canard, meaning that people think that there's some vast global Jewish conspiracy. And so I think in many ways, to show that we're not united disproves that conspiracy, whether it be about the vaccines, whether it be about the Zionists, and it's the truth. That's the thing. It's not like it would be a lie to try to present ourselves that we are united about these controversial issues. And the truth is that we're not united about it. And there are so many conspiracy theories about Jewish unity. It's in our interest to demonstrate that we are not united to a certain extent. Thank you for watching. God bless. Please like and share and subscribe. I'm already 8 minutes past when I'm supposed to make my call. We'll see you all later. Take care.